Boys and girls, today we're going to take a look at explaining why characters act the way that they do within our writing. Within our mini lesson, you were given an anchor chart that looked like this. It says said is dead. And what that means is when we're writing dialogue, we want to try to get rid of the word said and use other ways to explain how our characters are talking. Such as if your character is angry, you could say, she demanded, or she hissed, or she snapped. There's a lot more other word choices that we can use other than just the word said. So within your writing, if you are having dialogue between you and your mom, what I should see is, go to your room, my mom hissed. Do I have to? I cried, sadly. Okay, so do you see how it adds a lot more personality and uniqueness within my writing, and it gives my characters a certain tone rather than using the word said over and over and over again. Let's take a look at our mentor text. This is Everything Will Be Okay by James Howe, and this is at the part where Paul is bringing James into the back room. And let me read this to you. And I want you to pay attention to the character and how we can tell the tone of Paul, and we can tell the tone of the narrator, which is James, by the way that the author, the narrator, is writing. Dr. Milk is not in there when my brother pulls the car into the parking lot. It is after hours. My brother has the key. I'm impressed by this. Come on, Paul says in his take charge voice. Get that box now. Bring it on in here. He flicks on the light in the waiting room. You're coming back with me, he commands. I'll need your help. What are you going to do? I ask. I'm holding the box tight against my chest. I feel smoky moving around inside. What do you think? He said. You heard your mother. That's sick. That kitten is sick. Bad sick. Okay, so you can see within here the type of personality that Paul has. The narrator uses things like a take charge voice. He uses the word that Paul commands him to come in. We can even just sense that the type of personality Paul is that he is impatient and he's not being very friendly to the narrator, which is James at this point. This is another type of characterization that's called direct and indirect characterization. When we're writing, we want to make sure that we're using indirect characterization. An easier way to remember this is that direct is whenever you just tell what a character is like. For example, we have here Mary was lazy. We want to avoid this type of writing where you are just directly telling the character's personality. Over here, for the indirect characterization, it's where we show what the character does. So for example, Mary sat on the couch all day and did not do her homework. Here, you can still tell that Mary is lazy, but you're not directly stating it. You're leaving some room for the author to infer what you're saying. And this is the type of writing that we want to use, which is indirect characterization. There are 5 ways to indirectly describe a character, and we use that with an acronym called STEAL. S stands for the character's speech, T stands for the character's thoughts, E stands for the effect the character would have on others, A would be the character's actions, and then L would be the physical looks. So if you're wanting to describe a character trait, avoid directly describing the character, but rather use these strategies, what the character would say. Keep in mind that the anchor chart said is dead, to add that tone. Tell me what the character is possibly thinking or what you are thinking. That could be indirectly describing the character. How does the character have effect on other people? That would also indirectly describe the character. What is the character doing, and what does the character look like? So in your writing today, what I expect you to have is that you are describing your characters indirectly and that you are using this anchor chart as a resource to get rid of said within your writing.